Hello and welcome to the latest edition of OFC Monthly. I'm Gordon Watson. Our first destination is New Caledonia, which provided two venues for the group stages of the newly revamped OFC Champions League, which saw 16 teams competing in 4 groups for the 4 semi-final spots on offer. We'll bring you a comprehensive wrap of the action from each group before previewing the upcoming semi-finals of Oceania's premier club football competition. We'll also tell you about some of the outcomes from the OFC Executive Committee's first quarterly meeting and talk with referees in charge of our region's top competitions. Finally, we put the spotlight on the important work performed by Oceania's award-winning Just Play team. But let's kick off with Group A action from the 2017 Champions League in New Caledonia, which included hosts AS Magenta, Samoan qualifiers Lupe Olasonga, as well as Tahiti Central Sport and Madang FC from Papua New Guinea. Madang FC and Central Sport kicked off proceedings on match day 1 at Numia's Stade Numa Daily. The Papua New Guineans grabbed the early initiative courtesy of a second-minute penalty, before Central Sport responded with 2 first-half goals to take a narrow lead into the break. The contest was over by midway through the second half as the Tahitians raced to a 5-1 lead. Each side scored 2 more goals in a frantic finale as the match ended in a convincing 7-3 win for Central Sport. AS Magenta went into the second game of the opening match day against preliminary qualifiers Lupe Olasonga as clear favourites. But despite taking the lead inside the opening 5 minutes, the hosts were made to work hard by the gutsy Samoans, who were back on level terms 20 minutes later. New Caledonian's second goal at the end of the first half turned out to be decisive, as Magenta kicked off their campaign with a 2-1 win. On match day 2, Lupe Olasonga proved that they can compete at the top level of Oceania's club football with another fighting performance against Madang FC. The Samoans overturned a 2-1 first-half deficit to take a 3-2 lead midway through the second half. However, with less than 10 minutes on the clock, Madang FC scored twice to deny the preliminary qualifiers a famous win. Meanwhile, the top-of-the-table clash between francophone rivals Magenta and Central Sport did prove to be a closely contested affair. The Tahitians were in the box seat at the end of the first half by taking a 2-1 lead, but Magenta came out with intent after the break to score 3 unanswered goals and take a huge step towards semi-final qualification with a 4-2 victory. On the final match day, Central Sport kept their qualification hopes alive with a 3-0 win over Lupe Olasonga. But they had to rely on Madang FC upsetting AS Magenta, who only needed a draw to secure top spot in Group A. The hosts, however, were determined to continue their dominance as they brushed their Papua New Guinean opponents aside 5-0. To finish on top of Group A with maximum points and become the first team to qualify for the semi-final stage of the 2017 OFC Champions League. Kone, also in New Caledonia, provided the stage for Group B rivals Team Wellington from New Zealand, Fiji's Bar FC, Cook Islands preliminary qualifiers Puaikura FC and local hopefuls Yenge Sport. The action at Stade Yoshida Stadium kicked off with Puaikura's clash with 2015 and 2016 runners-up Team Wellington. Following an 18th minute penalty that gave the Cook Islanders a surprise lead, Team Wellington have settled into their task to grab a 2-1 first-half lead. 2 more goals after the break was enough for the men from the New Zealand capital to get their campaign off to a winning start. Yingay Sport gave local fans something to cheer about by taking the lead against Bar before the Fijians' last-minute equaliser forced the two teams to settle for a share of the points in the second match of the day. On match day 2, Bar had to work hard to edge up Waikura with a solitary goal in the 82nd minute. Team Wellington made it 2 wins from as many games to take control of Group B with a 3-1 win over the hosts. In their final match, the New Zealanders thrashed Bar 8-0 to top Group B and cruise into the semi-finals of the competition. The New Zealanders' win meant the match between Yingay Sport and Waikura was a dead rubber. Nevertheless, with both sides determined to finish on a high note, the match ended in an entertaining 3-1 win for the New Caledonians. Eight-time champions Auckland City began their title defence by hosting Group C rivals Lae City from Papua New Guinea, Solomon Islands representatives Western United, and Vanuatu's Malumpa Revivers at Auckland's Mangere Centre Park. Lae City dominated the opening encounter on match day 1, easily accounting for Malumpa Revivers. The Papua New Guineans led 2-1 at the break before running out 5-2 winners. Auckland City FC, aiming for their 7th title in a row, have kicked off their campaign in unconvincing fashion. Facing Western United from the Solomon Islands, the Navy Blues fell 1-0 behind in the first half, before fighting hard to get back on level terms in the 75th minute. With time running out, the defending champions needed a late penalty to secure a nervy 2-1 win. Western United put the disappointment of that opening day defeat behind them by edging past Malumpa Revivers 2-1 to kick off match day 2. Auckland City FC's second outing proved to be another tough challenge, as the hosts were forced to work hard for their 2-0 win over Leigh City dwellers. Western United overcame Leigh City on the final match day to keep their faint qualification hopes alive. The Solomon Islanders raced to a 3-0 lead before Leigh City pulled 2 goals back in an entertaining encounter. Western United responded with 2 goals of their own to restore their 3-goal cushion before a late injury time strike made it 5-3 in the final analysis. Auckland City FC needed only a draw against Malumpa Revivers to secure top spot in Group C, but the Navy Blues produced a scintillating performance in their final game to crush their opponents from Vanuatu 11-0. Ryan de Vries was in rampant form and grabbed 4 goals, while João Moreira contributed with a hat-trick of his own. Tahiti's AS Stefana hosted Group D that also included Vanuatu's Golden Iroquois star, Rewa FC from Fiji and Marist FC from the Solomon Islands. The opening match at Stade Pata saw an impressive Marist outfit up against Rewa FC. Following a 1-1 stalemate in the opening 45 minutes, the Solomon Islanders proved too strong in the second half to secure a deserved 4-2 win. In the day's other match, AS Stefana fell 1-0 behind to Iroquois Golden Star, following a goalkeeping howler by Mikel Roche, before turning their fortunes around to defeat their opponents from Vanuatu 4-2. Iroquois Golden Star bounced back on match day 2 to edge past Marist FC 2-1 in a keenly contested and even encounter. Meanwhile, Tefana took firm control of their destiny by moving 3 points clear at the top of Group D with a comfortable 2-0 win over Rewa FC. Following 2 defeats, the Fijians left their best to last to overcome Iroquois Golden Star 2-1 and finish the group stage on a high note. In the final match at Stade Pata, a draw was enough for AS Stefana to grab the 4th semi-final spot on offer, while Marist needed to win by at least 2 goals to pip the hosts. To the delight of local fans, Stefana grabbed 2 first-half goals to all but book their place in the final 4. To their credit, the Solomon Islanders fought back to level the scores 2-2 to grab a share of the points. The result, however, was enough for the Tahitians to secure their passage to the knockout stage. The draw for the semi-finals of the 2017 OFC Champions League took place in Auckland in front of representatives of all 4 clubs. Tahitian champions AS Stefano will host defending champions Auckland City FC in the first of their home and away ties at Stade Pata on 8th of April, while the return leg will be played at Kiwatea Street in Auckland on the 16th of April. In the second semi, Team Wellington will travel to New Caledonia to face AS Magenta on the 8th, before the return leg at Wellington's David Farrington Park 8 days later.
De toute façon, c'était notre souhait de jouer contre Wellington. C'est un peu la revanche de l'année dernière.
We're obviously excited to be at this stage of the competition, and you know, as a club, obviously recently we're over in New Caledonia, so it'd be good going back there, familiar surroundings. We were fortunate enough to catch a few of their games on the TV. Obviously, their group was played at the same time, and you know, we'll do our homework, but we'll know we'll be in for a tough game. So we'll have to make sure we're you know, right at the top of our game and ensure our preparations are top notch.
Un très grand match. Très grand match. Il va falloir qu'on soit encore plus efficace maintenant, étant donné que ce qu'il nous présente, c'est autre chose. C'est du haut niveau, ça nous permet aussi de relever notre niveau et de permettre de montrer aussi que le football polynésien avance. C'est surtout ça.
Yeah, they will be willing to play us again after last year. They lost the semi-finals, so they'll be buzzing to beat us this time. And we want to win the game again, because we want to be in the final, and at the end of the day we want to win the trophy as well.
At the invitation of Tahitian Football Federation during Group D of the Champions League, members of the OFC Executive Committee have come together for their first quarterly meeting. We caught up with the OFC General Secretary, Ty Nicholas, straight afterwards.
Yeah, what the President wanted to do is to make sure that we have our executives across the region, and the FTF have invited the executive, which is made up of all the 11 presidents, to Tahiti on the occasion of the Group D matches for the OFC Champions League. As you know, 4 of the presidents here have been represented from the clubs, so it's a bit of time to work and to enjoy the hospitality of Tahiti. Well, March is our first quarterly meeting of the year. So we've approved our audited accounts, of which we declared a surplus. We discussed aspects around strategic planning and implementation of a new football management system. We debated about football places. As you know, OFC has 1.5 places it's proposed, and we're just working with FIFA to work out the best format for our second team. We decided to have a workshop in May, because the review of some of the competitions means that we need to improve the way regulations and the formats to make it a better tournament. Well, one of the priorities for our President and our Executive is the implementation of the OFC Education Centre. This is a centre where we have put a lot of money in, and we will establish coaching and refereeing and administrators, and we will have a syllabus for education. And we'll make sure that this will be implemented in each member association. It's really a priority for our executive, and we spent some time on working out the budgets and the format of how this would work. Yeah, part of the development is also talk about how we can improve the capacity in our member associations. So we call it the buddy system. So part of that is where media officers would come and partner with TV and media. Competitions managers would come with our competitions to learn how to run competitions, refereeing with refereeing, and coaches with a technical study group. So OFC tournaments is really a great tool to build the capacity of our member associations. Well, the new format of the OFC Champions League is really good. It's exciting that we have it in groups. It's been hosted. We brought the matches back to the home associations, and therefore there's a sense of excitement. And it's the football, or club football, is really the grassroots of football, and it's the foundation for national teams, coaching, refereeing. So it's really important that us as a confederation invest a lot in developing and strengthening national leagues.
Just because you cannot see violence doesn't mean it's not there. Help us raise awareness against violence.
Be heard. Speak out.
Sé un campeón. Exprésate contra la violencia.
We do not accept violence against girls and women.
Jedes Kind hat das Recht darauf, ohne Gewalt aufzuwachsen.
We support same rights for boys and girls.
But to win, we need you on our side.
このことを広く知らせるため、この太平洋地域から暴力がなくなるため、あなたの力を貸してください。
Aidez-nous à mettre fin à la violence.
Help us end violence.
Help us end violence.
The new format of the Champions League has also given Oceania's top match officials plenty of opportunities to work together in a team environment. We visited the referees in charge of Group C in Kone to find out about their preparations for the tournament.
In every competition, we try to prepare all the referees well before a competition starts. And it is important that they are well prepared. We go into that to match day number 1. The main objective of pre-competition preparation for the referees, and we want to reduce or even eliminate the number of mistakes the referees they do in the match. We want to ensure that at the end of the competition, the referee's decision do not determine the outcome of each of the match.
You have to work every day. You have to train every day. You have to every game you learn. Every game you can do some mistake, and you have to learn to improve. You have to listen your assessor referee, because every time they give a new advice, and you improve. The key it's train every day and learn every day. The most important is the position. So we have to read the game. You have to read every time the game for anticipate the pass and the strategy or the strategy of the team. So the most important is to read the game and to work the best position to take. And if you are a good position, you take good decision.
The most challenging factor is all throughout Oceania we only have 11 referees, FIFA referee, and also a low number of assistant referees. We need to increase the numbers and also increase the level. So in this group here in Kone, we have of course all the FIFA match officials, and we have one OFC badge, which is on our development group. So we want to ensure that by next year all our OFC badge referees, they are on the FIFA list, and we have the numbers, and also with the number there will be competition, and with competition we increase the level. So that is exactly what we want, is to increase the level of refereeing so that they can referee a FIFA final competition.
We sadly have a culture of violence because we are a tribal community. We have been used to using violence as a means of protecting ourselves. But the sooner we shred this culture, move towards a culture of peace, using peaceful means to solve grievances, the better it is for all of us, because as long as we have a culture of violence, it will be an impediment to our development, our progress, our sanity, our psychology, and our total well-being.
What you saw today was the young females giving them more belief in themselves, because they're the next generation, so that sense of empowerment and making them stand up for themselves and be proud of who they are. And you could really feel that today. I really enjoyed myself, and I'm so glad that I was a part of this walk.
Honestly, I'm so excited. UNICEF was born 1946, and then today, makes exactly 70 years of the existence of UNICEF. Again, today happens to be Universal Day, for children. Again, we are celebrating that. The platform is very easy. who are the victims of violence, of women, children. And here we have women playing football. We have the ambassador Alex Scott, with us. She formed the role model of what these children would like to see. The role model, that they want their life, to mirror after.
Yeah, it's very important that it's a women's tournament too, because the victims and survivors of violence, sadly, in our city and our country, happens to be women, and it's important that we bring the message that girls and women have equal rights. They can be as good as anyone. Using football as a means of disseminating the information and reminding people about positive values and virtues is very important. And on our own, we cannot shift our people's behavior and habit.
We must make sure that we provide the right environment, look after our children well.
They're very dear to my heart, and it's very critical for the well-being of Papua New Guinea going forward into the future.
That's all we have time for, but join us again next month for another journey across Oceania's world of football. Goodbye.